Now, I'll move to another part, which is related to the idea of losing jobs to artificial intelligence and how we can identify what differentiates the human mind from artificial intelligence. And people now are talking about the universal basic income. So most of us, many of us may be familiar, but it's a social policy concept that proposes providing every individual within a given society with a regular unconditional cash transfer to ensure basic level of economic security and to address poverty and inequality. And this is a solution that is now being discussed as a solution for the amount of jobs that will be lost to artificial intelligence and RPA. Yet, if we manage to identify what could be the advantage or the differentiation of the human mind, and we can build on it, then this will be a different story. And utilizing artificial intelligence and the metaverse to automate repetitive, potential wasting tasks is not taking, we can look at it not in a way that it's taking jobs from people, but it's sort of freeing up human resources to focus on more strategic, creative, and value-added activities. So let's think what could differentiate the human mind from artificial intelligence, and what can we build on it and have basically a humanized harmony with technology. And let's ask the question, could artificial intelligence have discovered gravity or relativity? And I asked this question to ChatGPT. Let's see what was the answer. And I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'll just highlight the important parts. So it's important to note that artificial intelligence is a tool that relies on data and algorithms, and it doesn't possess inherent creativity or insight like human scientists. So stuff like gravity and relativity are significant breakthroughs in physics and requires deep insights and innovative thinking. Discovering fundamental principles like gravity or relativity often requires the ability to think in a creative way and make conceptual leaps. So this relies on human creativity. How many times I mentioned the word creativity, intuition, and insight. So artificial intelligence can augment human capabilities, but it's unlikely to independently generate ground-breaking scientific theories. Of course, it can play a role in assisting scientists by analyzing large data, simulating complex scenarios, and suggesting possible hypotheses. But artificial intelligence cannot come up with original creative ideas. And part of the reason is the element of chaos within the human mind creativity. And what I mean by chaos, let's for example see gravity. And by the way, this is not, I'm just giving an example by scientific theories, but this is applicable to any kind of creativity thinking, and it could apply to any field, basically not necessarily science. It's not like all humanity will become Einstein's and Newton. So it applies to any kind of creative thinking and any kind of field. So for example, let's say gravity, a moon, an apple, and a random event where an apple is falling and a mind sitting there and then linking these events together. If you think of it, there is no logical connection between these events, right? And this is something that artificial intelligence cannot do. It cannot link stuff without any logical connection. Maybe some very smart artificial intelligence scientist will come and say, okay, I'm gonna train the algorithm to find links between this stuff. But again, this is not, you cannot define this as creativity, because again, you have to train it. It's based on some kind of data, some kind of process that you train the algorithm on. But coming up with original ideas with the element of, and of course, definitely the discovery of gravity didn't come from this exact event. It's because the mind was prepared and has been going through a creative thinking method, which chaos was an element of it as well, until it came up with a concept like gravity. Relativity is the same story. I mean, Einstein used to come up with his great ideas and theories, usually through thought experiments. And usually these thought experiments are also linking stuff that has no logical link between it. And that is also something that artificial intelligence cannot do. It cannot come up with original ideas, cannot link stuff that doesn't have any logical thing to it. So for example, relativity, in the early days of relativity, when he was trying to explain to his friend, you know, a moving train and two lightning bolts and someone standing still and someone in a moving train, two persons experiencing the same event in different ways. And here goes relativity. If you think of it, the thought process behind it is pretty, I mean, chaos is an element into it, and pretty to somehow illogical, but the guy trained his mind to think in a way, in a creative way. That's the word, in a creative way. And that's what we need to capitalize on. We need to train our minds to think in a creative way in every industry, and understand well what differentiates us from what artificial intelligence can do, and build on that. So to sum up, to conclude, what we have presented today is how to thoroughly understand and acknowledge what the human mind is capable of and artificial intelligence is not, how to utilize the metaverse and artificial intelligence to harness the potential of the human mind, which is another way to truly implement the idea of a human-centric metaverse, adapting and utilizing new technologies to improve our well-being and mental health. We also discussed what could be the definition of a human-centric metaverse, what could be the layers of a human-centric metaverse, and what could be the applications of a human-centric metaverse, and some experiments on how to do that, and how to utilize the metaverse ecosystem of technologies to free up the human resources to focus on more strategic, creative, and value-added activities. So I've talked for long now. Maybe I can open the floor for some questions, Errol.
No, it's okay. I mean, it is really very interesting talk, because we learn all from you new things, because you have the experience. And therefore, I would like to have the first question.